Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.
What's that, boy? Dad! Over there! Is that a Yeti?
It's just his hair, son.
At last! Saved after all these years! Stuck up this cursed mountain, licking moss with only a crow for a friend. How'd you find me?
Just walking the dog. Need a lift back down?
Room for a crow?
Adventures never far with the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Now £339 per month on Land Rover personal contract hire.
Oh, heated seats.
Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Initial rental £4,068. 48th month term. Subject status. 8,000 miles per annum. Conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of March. Participating retailers only. Such Land Rover offers.
If you could learn to make better decisions, would you? Knowing how to make deliberate decisions is a skill. You can learn using one word. Pause. Through each letter of the word pause, I give you 5 ways to become a better decision maker. I'm Kari Watt. I'm a communications specialist, speaker and writer, and I'm here to be your digital coach, where I give you guidance on how to communicate better in your career and relationships, or on anything you want to ask me. Because communication is my thing, I want to see you become a better communicator, no matter where you are in the world, how old you are, or what you do for a living. Now, if you're new to my podcast, please subscribe to encourage that I'm actually making a positive influence. And if you're not new and haven't subscribed, come on now, what are you doing? Can you help a girl out?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
So what is the concept of deliberation? Is it dialogue, a discussion, or perhaps it's a meeting of brilliant minds? Well, deliberation is the consideration of all possibilities before assuming you have all the answers. In a way, it is decision-making. Deliberation is an approach in which people, not just experts, are deeply involved in problem-solving and decision-making, working with facilitators who utilize a variety of techniques to learn about an issue, talk with, not past, each other, consider diverse points of view, discover key tensions and values, spark new ideas and solutions, and make decisions. That's deliberation in a nutshell. A deliberate conversation will often include stages like gathering of information, exploring options, identifying criteria, evaluating alternatives, and making choices. Now, the style of deliberation can vary depending on the relationship between the people involved, whether the decision is made by a single person or whether it's a consensus agreement. Perhaps the people are not providing the information to help make the decision. For example, if you're thinking about buying a car, you'll ask the salesperson about the technical details and then discuss this with your partner or a friend. Or a team of colleagues will discuss whether to implement a new strategy by considering factors such as cost, risks, and potential sales. Now, decisions can be quick and easy, but sometimes they also need careful consideration of significant information. Often the information available is far from complete, or it can be even biased. Now, conversations can help decisions by gathering information, including finding out what others know. This can be as easy as just asking them. It may require more persuasive methods when the other person doesn't want to reveal the information. Deliberation also means you need to understand the information, formulate possible actions, and select from these. This may be done collaboratively or individually. Deliberate conversations can be push and pull, like selling and general persuasion are typically push conversations, where the primary goal is to change the mind of the other person and make them buy the product. Interviews and business decision-makings are often pull, as the instigator seeks information to help support a choice they need to make. Now, deliberations can often include elements of both push and pull. For example, as the interviewee pushes while the interviewer pulls. Sounds a little bit complicated, but really it's not. When the other person in conversation feels like they're losing or losing out on something, they may be non-collaborative or may try to lie. Now, the decision maker may consequently resort to interrogation methods or decide based on available information such as what happened in the past, and more vague information such as the other person's reputation and how trustworthy they seem. Now, let's talk about how to make better decisions. That was all the technical stuff. We've gotten through all the technical stuff. Let's just talk about the simple ways that you can become a better decision maker through the word pause. Well, P means pay attention. Before you make a decision and take action, stop and take time to think. Try the decision on to see how it fits. Just like trying on a piece of clothing, right? You try on your decision by feeling, visualizing, or imagining the results of each decision. Now, visualization is a powerful tool used by athletes and performers before they play a game or do a show. It allows them to walk through each action that they'll take on the field or on the stage before they're ever on the field or the stage. And it helps them to become far more successful. I use visualization all the time, especially if I'm unsure of which decision to make. I try and visualize the results, and 9 times out of 10, the visualization actually works and it becomes true. So it's kind of got that je ne sais quoi. A is for ask questions. Now, when you ask questions about your decision and the potential outcomes, depending on the decision you're preparing to make, ask questions about the decision you're about to make. Ask whatever questions are relevant to your decision. You should also ask people you trust for their advice on the decision. You know, people that are like close friends or family, work colleagues, experts, or even people who've made this decision before. Now, that's a good one. Ask some questions like, does this decision seem to align to my strengths and what I do well? Or which side of this decision do you think is best for me? And do you think what would happen if I didn't do this or I didn't do this? Questions are excellent ways to gather information. You understand. This is from your perspective. Now that you have all the answers from your questions, ask yourself some questions so you can understand the effect that the decision will have on you. The first question I would ask is, should I really be doing this? Another one is, how will this affect me and my family in a month or in 6 months or 1 year down the road? The third question I always ask is, what other commitments do I have that may need to change to make sure I'm successful? S, suggest an end date. Now, this is a very important step to remember when you're making an agreement or a commitment to anything. Always set an end date. Don't make open-ended commitments. Instead of, sure, I can help you on that committee, say, sure, I can help you for 3 months on that committee, and after that, let's talk again in 3 months' time to evaluate how it's going. When you do this, you stay in control of your time and energy. When your decision involves making a commitment, find a phrase that you can say that will give you time to think. For example, you might say, I need to check my calendar. Can I get back to you by the end of the week? E is for embrace your decision. Once you make a decision, commit to it wholeheartedly. Remember, saying no can also be a very good decision to make in some situations. Don't be afraid of no. You want to be looking for opportunities from this decision, not escape routes. Even when the decision is particularly difficult and you're worried about hurting someone's feelings, don't avoid the question. Be kind and honest in your response, even when it's hard to do so. If you need to make a decision about something, try to ensure you have enough time to do so. Like, do the research, collate facts, and think through the various options. It can also help to have other people to bounce ideas off and offer alternative viewpoints. Making decisions should be easy. Make sure you tune in next week because I will talk about the purpose of dialogue and what it means when you listen to the answers. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for some good vibes, and because it's free, give this away. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use a little help. Give it to them because they can listen to it privately, and it may significantly change the outcome of their lives. See you next time, because communication is my thing and now it's your thing. Well, I hope it's your thing. I hope it becomes your thing. Is it your thing?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.